Seeker. Master. When anger comes, should one recognize it? Master. Yes, you should recognize it, but not as my anger. Simply observe it as a passing movement in the mind. Do not identify with it. Ask yourself, to whom has this anger arisen? Trace it back to the one who feels anger. When you turn inward like this, the anger will lose its grip and subside. Remember, emotions like anger arise only because you take yourself to be the body or mind. The more you inquire into the self, the less such disturbances will affect you. Stay as the silent witness, seeker. So, Master, should we look at life as the inner, awareness, witness? Should we look at life as an experience, Master? Life is neither something to look at as an experience, nor something separate from the inner awareness. Life, in its essence, is the pure awareness itself, your true self. Experiences come and go, just like waves rise and fall on the ocean. If you identify with the waves, the experiences, you will be carried away by them, believing them to be real and permanent. But if you remain as the ocean, vast and still, you see that all experiences are transient appearances within your awareness. To look at life as the witness is helpful initially, as it creates space between you and the movements of the mind. But even the witness must dissolve. For in truth there is no separate witness or witnessed. There is only the pure awareness, the self, which alone exists. Be that awareness, and let the rest take care of itself. Seeker. I am not sure I understand. People have to work. People get angry. People get happy. People get sad. People get married and have children. Should I look at everything as the wave of the ocean? It comes and goes. Master. Yes, exactly. All these happenings, work, anger, happiness, sadness, marriage, children, are like waves on the surface of the ocean. They come and go, rise and fall, but the ocean itself remains unchanged, still, and vast. You are not the wave, you are the ocean. If you attach yourself to the waves, the changing circumstances of life, you will feel tossed about, caught in joy one moment and sorrow the next. But if you remain as the ocean, as the unmoving awareness, you will see that all these experiences are fleeting, temporary, and ultimately not who you are. Live your life, fulfill your duties, love your family, and do your work. But inwardly, remain unattached. Observe everything as passing phenomena, just like clouds drifting through the sky. Stay rooted in the awareness that underlies all these movements. That awareness is your true self, which is untouched by the ups and downs of life. This understanding brings peace amidst all activity. Life continues, but the mind remains calm, like the deep ocean beneath the restless waves. Seeker. Can I say that the state that you are speaking of is the I, self, the all? Master. Yes, you can say that. The state I am speaking of is the pure I, the true self, which is also the all, the infinite awareness in which everything arises and subsides. This I is not the ego, not the mind, nor the body. It is the unchanging, formless presence that underlies all existence. It is the source from which all thoughts, emotions, and experiences emerge and into which they return, just like waves rise and fall in the ocean. The self is not different from the all. In the state of true understanding, you see that there is no separation. What you call I is not limited to a person or an individual. It is the universal consciousness that pervades everything. That is why we say in the scriptures, Tat Twam Asi, you are that. Recognize this I, not as something to be attained, but as what you already are. It is ever present, timeless, and free. By turning your attention inward and abiding as this I, all illusions of separation dissolve, and the truth of oneness, the all, is revealed. Seeker. What can I do to always keep myself in the state of true self? What must I do? Master. To remain in the state of the true self, you must simply be as you are. There is nothing to do, for the self is ever present. It is not something to achieve, it is your very nature. The only effort is to stop identifying with what you are not, the body, the mind, and the ego. Here is the way. 1. Self-inquiry. Who am I? Constantly inquire. Who am I? When thoughts, emotions, or experiences arise, ask, to whom do these arise? Trace them back to their source. The I thought, the ego, will dissolve when you turn inward, and what remains is the pure awareness, the self. This is abiding in the true self. 2. Let go of attachments. Do not cling to thoughts, emotions, or situations. They are all passing phenomena, like clouds in the sky. Observe them, but do not identify with them. Remain as the silent witness, free and untouched. 3. Stay in the present. The true self is always here and now. It is not in the past or future. Whenever the mind pulls you into distractions or worries, bring your attention back to the present moment. Be still and know, I am. 4. Surrender completely. If the practice of self-inquiry feels difficult, surrender all your actions, thoughts, and desires to the higher power, God, the self, or the source. Trust that it will guide you. Surrender removes the ego's burden and leaves you in peace. 5. Be still. The essence of the self is stillness. It is not the mind's activity. When the mind is quiet, you are naturally in your true state. Practice silence, not just outwardly but inwardly. Allow the mind to settle in its source. 6. Practice without ceasing. Remain vigilant. In the beginning, the mind may pull you outward again and again, identifying with the world and its movements. Gently bring it back to the self each time. Over time, this practice becomes effortless, and you abide naturally in your true nature. Remember, the self is not far from you. It is you. By persistent practice and sincere effort, the identification with the ego will weaken, and you will remain firmly established as the self, effortlessly and joyfully. This is liberation, here and now. Seeker. Master, you said, if the practice of self-inquiry feels difficult, surrender all your actions, thoughts, and desires to the higher power, God, the self, or the source. Trust that it will guide you. Surrender removes the ego's burden and leaves you in peace. I thought I was the God, the self, the source. Am I not? Master. Yes, you are indeed the God, the self, the source. Your true nature is none other than that. But as long as you feel separated, as long as there is a sense of I as an individual, surrender becomes a helpful and practical step. In truth, surrender and self-inquiry lead to the same realization. When you inquire, who am I? The ego dissolves and only the self remains. Similarly, when you surrender all your burdens, thoughts, and desires to God, or the source, the ego fades away, leaving you as the pure self. The idea of surrender is for those who still feel the separation, who still experience the struggle of the mind and ego. By surrendering, you let go of the false identification with the limited I and rest naturally in your true nature, the infinite I. So yes, you are the self, but if that understanding is not yet firm, surrender is a means to dissolve the sense of individuality. It is like giving back the ego to the source from which it arose. When the surrender is complete, the illusion of separation vanishes and you realize, I am, that there was never any separation. In surrender, the false I dissolves into the true I. That is why surrender is not contrary to self-realization. It leads to it.